Well, good afternoon, members of council and members of our management team. We have 9 attendees that have logged on via electronic media. Also, I'd like to recognize we have guests, Brian and Laura in our audience. Thanks for coming. We seem to like the Stephenville Council chambers. We see you a lot, but we want to see you keep coming, okay? We don't get enough people into our lobby. So it is 12:10. A beautiful day in Stephenville, Newfoundland. It is November 21st, and I would ask, I'll call it to order. Ask a member of council to call this meeting to order. Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second by Councilor Maurice Hines. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Our land acknowledgement. Before I say our land acknowledgement, I have to say to the great work our Royal Canadian Legion has done this year with the dining in, how I think that's the first time we did a land acknowledgement at our dining in.
Yes, it is.
And it just shows how reconciliation is working in different groups. So we want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yep. So we respectfully acknowledge the town of Stephenville as the ancestral homeland of different populations of Indigenous people. We also acknowledge with respect the rich histories and cultures of the Beothuk, the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit of the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Just a little note, a little history, I think I got it right, but on the Bering Strait 10,000 years ago, it's estimated by archaeologists that the first Indigenous people arrived in North America 10,000 years ago and worked their way down the Pacific coast, and eventually as the populations grew, they went from into North America and reached the shores of places like Newfoundland and Labrador. Piece of history. Okay, item number 3, we have an agenda in front of us. It is actually circulated on our website. I would ask a member of council that we approve the agenda as circulated. Moved by Councilor Laura Elwer.
Second.
Second, Councilor Darren Roberts. All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. And just for a moment there, I thought it was like in an eye. Councilor Edwards said move, and maybe I'm thinking about the Ducks Unlimited auction that's coming up.
That's it.
I thought it was, what's the person called? The
Auctioneer, yeah.
I'm just the mayor of Steeple.
Sold.
Trying to auction something off.
Thank you. Okay, so number 4, approval of the minutes. Our previous meeting, November the 7th, be it resolved to approve our public meeting of council minutes dated November 7th, 2024. These were circulated by our town clerk. I would ask a member of council to move to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second.
Second it.
Second, Councilor Maurice Hines, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Any matters arising from those minutes?
I'm not sure if it fits here. We did, at the last meeting, defer one of the community grants, which is noted in the minutes, and that's something that I'd like to bring back to the table, maybe as a late item in finance or wherever it goes, I don't know.
Okay.
If it's finance issue, we'll bring it under finance.
Yep. And Darren, I guess you'll be handling finance as our chair, Myra White, is unable to attend. She's had a commitment of family over in Nova Scotia. So we'll take you to chair of finance, Councilor Roberts, if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Okay, duly noted, Deputy Mayor Susan Powell. Number 5, matters arising from the minutes. We just went through that. Item number 6, proclamations and delegations. I don't believe we have anything today. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to item number 7, turn it over to Councilor Darren Roberts as the chair of our finance committee of today's date, November 21st, and just to let you know, it is 12:14 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be finished by 12:15. The meeting is of November 18th. At that meeting, we had first one accounts payable, Be resolved to pay accounts payable dated November 21st, 2024 in the amount of $154,202.73. So moved.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, seconder. Second Deputy Mayor Stephenville, all in favor?
Aye.
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 There's nothing there I'm going to identify on, there's nothing unusual. Probably resolved the day's operation. Makes one table. Number 2, expense checks. Be resolved to approve expense checks for the month of October in the amount of $384,093.54. So moved.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, seconder.
Seconded.
Councilor Maureen Hines, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried.
Water and sewer tax. Be resolved to approve water and sewer adjustments of $2,336.33. So moved.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, seconder. Second Councilor Laura Aylward, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Number 4, preliminary engineering for wastewater treatment expansion. Be resolved to approve Sharp Management Inc. to complete preliminary engineering for future wastewater treatment expansion in the amount of $7,500 plus HST. So moved.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, seconder.
Seconded.
Second Councilor Maureen Hines, question?
Now, maybe, I guess for the audience, I wonder if we could have a little bit of a background on that, please.
So the wastewater treatment expansion requirements in the community, in our current system is at its capacity. And on that basis, council's direction for wastewater treatment be given the top priority. And on that basis, before we can even apply for funds, we have to get the preliminary engineering information done and work towards an estimate that can be used for an application to municipal capital works program. So, and we're trying to do it to capture it in this year's submissions. So that was the reason for this one-off request. And that company has the necessary expertise to complete this for the town.
I'd just like to also add to it for sometimes these are the things that the community don't really see, but if you had an aerial of Steve Muller or Google Map or a drone footage, you would see a major green space of a reed bed system, which is the largest in Canada. We are the only community in Western Newfoundland that treat our effluent. Most communities are still dumping raw sewer into the ocean, where they go fish for the lobster and codfish and so forth. So we are compliant, although compliant changes over time. This is a 20-year-old plus system that even during heavy rainfalls, we have the ability to bypass so it doesn't overtake our effluent facility, that we can bypass into the ocean. And that's really just storm drainage, that's not sewer. But even now, the federal government is saying everything, even storm drainage, just your runoff going into your gutters, has to be treated. The other great news about our effluent facility is at the M&L conference in Gander, our CAO, Bill Ramsey, received another check of $22,000 in carbon credits. So companies actually buy carbon credits from Stephenville and our effluent facility to offset their carbon footprint. And I think this is the second check we've received. We've received 20, now it's 22. Eventually, if this is managed properly, this system could be cost neutral. That means it actually, we would accrue enough revenue on it that it would offset any cost of maintenance. I think that's the goal, isn't it?
That's the goal, and it's, a lot of different parties involved, but we were pleased to receive that check for $22,000. It's in the mail, as far as I understand, that they had a ceremonial one.
Okay.
I should have it this week. And but we're that's the second check this year. The other one was the prior year. We actually didn't get the actual check until this year, so it's really 44,000 we've received this year. 42,000.
Okay.
So it's always good to see a plan roll out the way it should and work the way it should. I can remember when I was sitting in the mayor's chair and we negotiated all these deals, and we were politics, and it didn't cost us anything to get into the deal. So okay, let's get in and see how it works. But I mean, at that rate, we're thinking now, how long is it going to be before we see any real money? Well, I mean, that day is here.
Yeah.
Can't beat it, can't beat it.
I know.
And you're right, Mayor, I mean, the goal is ultimately that it will be cost neutral. And if we keep it going good, could be even a few extra bucks there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
good
great.
make money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and just a comment, I guess, to the few past councils that had the foresight to go ahead with this, when at the time it was sort of new technology, but it's really good that they saw the future where it was going.
In a lot of communities thought we were kind of off the wall, I guess, when we start to talk about this and do this. But I mean, Stevens is a prime example. I mean, we're a relatively small community. We can take on a project this size, green and all that stuff. It's really disappointing more communities haven't gone down the same route, because I mean, this is actual now. People can actually see how it works. From start to finish, the money in the bank.
And Appleton Glenwood also received a similar contribution from Sharp Management. And also, I might add that the newness of carbon credit trading in this province is the reason why we're only getting 22,000. The actual value of those carbon credits is probably triple. But by the time it goes through various hands to get it off the secondary market, where we can actually sell those credits, we should be receiving probably about triple, but the province has not put in place a regime that allow us to get the full value. And that's something that we are intending to lobby further to the province to make sure we do get everything we're entitled to.
Absolutely.
So on that note, all in favor?
Aye.
Carry.
Number 5, Christmas adventure event, something to look forward to. Hopefully I'm going to be in town when it happens, but I don't know.
Excuse me just for a moment. The Christmas adventure event, I got appointed by the deputy CEO, I guess, as a council's rep on that committee, but that wouldn't put me in conflict there.
No, sir.
No, perfect.
Okay.
For a first time this morning, so
Yeah.
Okay.
time is short.
Be resolved to approve $10,000 for town steam of Christmas adventure event on Main Street taking place in December 2024 from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. So moved.
Moved by Councilor Darren Roberts, second by Councilor Maurice Hahn. Question?
Oops, sorry. No, I was in favor. Sorry.
I'm really pleased. I know they were looking at the dates, but the closer the date is to Christmas, the great thing about this date is there's probably a lot of university kids that's only going to get home that day, or family members that day, you know, so
It's good.
it's so great to see.
And I keep going the other way.
Oh, you're going the other way?
No.
Yeah.
I got a granddaughter I like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The date is December 20th, but if the weather is totally disagreeable, we can move it to Saturday.
Yes.
And if it's still totally disagreeable, we can move it to Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All right.
That means councilors won't get a lump of coal in their stocking this
There you
Christmas.
go.
They're supporting Christmas adventure on Main Street unanimously. Wonderful.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's excellent.
I was waiting for that comment.
Almost
And
unanimous.
I gotta say, Councilor Roberts, I just want to say that from a finance perspective, you're chairing our finance committee here today, that should we get coal, need coal, I know where there's some coal, there'd be no cost to the town.
There's no need, there's need for coal. I got my naughty list.
Bah, humbug. Bah, humbug.
What's that?
You never voted against it.
No.
Only because I was too ready to kick over. No.
Okay, so that,
Okay.
so we do have one late item.
So, okay, so don't brought late item, what?
So, yeah, in the, at our last meeting, under the community grants program, as we were listing, I think, we had the, application from Zion Pentecostal Church, for $8,000 to support, changing the heat source from oil fuel to electric for their annex. And of course, the annex being a space that's offered for a lot of not-for-profit community groups and also for community cafes and so on. So they put that forward, and we asked to have that deferred because we wanted to make sure that they had gone through other processes and programs first, like the oil rebates and all those programs. So I think Candace got an update there, right?
I do. So we checked with Marissa, who's the community recreation and wellness coordinator. She manages the program. So she in her records has confirmed that the Pentecostal Church have exhausted all their efforts for funds for the project. They actually received funding, I think to the tune of $20,000 for the oil to electric program from the province to complete the upgrades. So the $8,000 that they're requesting from us is their portion of the funds that is still required to be able to complete the project.
So moved. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I jumped into you that time, sorry.
yeah, no, you go right ahead. But yeah, I don't know if so moved or is that okay? The motion is be it resolved to approve community grants for the following, and under that was Zion Pentecostal Church, $8,000 to support changing heat source from oil fuel to electric for the annex portion of the building. And the annex offers space and support to many not-for-profit community groups. The location also hosts monthly community cafes.
Mm-hmm. And that's the point being that
I
they
saw.
like all of their efforts.
Okay, so on the process or protocol, so we'll get a mover and a seconder. We'll still open it up for question. And so can we get a mover?
I so moved it.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Susan Fallow, second Councillor Tom O'Brien. Okay, for question.
It's within our community grants budget, right? So
Okay, no question. I will call for the vote. All in favor?
I
Contra mine?
Councilor Ryan.
Two. Okay, I'll go in favor too, so it will pass 5-2. Okay, noted?
4.
4-2. Because Myers.
No.
4-2. Oh, majority, 2/3, still 2/3, yeah, the council. I'm pretty well, is it still 2/3 of the council, 4-2? Will it pass?
It's 2/3 of the council.
Okay, so
The office.
I'm passing 4-2.
Passed it.
No,
We'd have to bring it back to the next meeting.
Okay, so
We don't have the numbers, or you mean the vote it won't pass?
Yeah, the vote won't pass it.
Yeah. So
We need 5. 5
Yeah.
votes.
so it doesn't pass, I guess.
okay, so motion defeated.
Okay.
Okay. Anything that are on late for finance?
No, that was it.
That
I was
was
thinking.
it? Nothing?
My understanding.
Candace, Jennifer? Okay, Planning and Development Committee, I'm going to turn it over now to our trusted chair of planning, the Councillor Gilbert.
oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor, but I think we're going to be here a long time because I got so much today.
We're on a time bar today.
Yeah, but we gotta be careful because Councilor O'Brien got an appointment, right?
Okay.
And not only that, it's my 65th wedding anniversary today.
Congratulations.
And my Aunt Magdalene, we had a double wedding 65 years ago,
Congratulations.
and our spouses are passed.
Yeah.
So we usually go out ourselves for a meal. So anyway, that's, so 65 years ago today, I was in St. George's. I'm getting married, whatever. A nice day.
Happy something anniversary.
65th.
Yeah.
I couldn't pass that. But anyway, we have one item. So Councillor O'Brien, you got no worries about meeting your appointments. It's this first item is to approve a comprehensive development plan. Be it resolved to approve comprehensive development plan as submitted for Stephenville Medical Clinic located on 150 Minnesota Drive. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Nora Gilbert, seconder.
Second.
Second, Councillor Maurice Hines. All in favor?
Aye.
Question?
Yeah.
No, this information is all.
A bit.
And that's the only item I got.
It was discussed before, but it wasn't discussed on Tuesday.
So
I'm not sure, I don't remember discussing it on Tuesday, and so I'd just like to know what we're.
It was discussed at a previous meeting.
Yes.
But it took time to get to the public meeting, is that
No,
right?
so when you approved the amendment, because you had to rezone, that was part of the amendment process. But that was brought forward from the planner, so that's the kind of enclosed in the amendment process, but that had to be singled out. So yeah.
All right,
So once you get registered, that was noted.
Just for information, everyone, can you explain what,
Yes.
what to affect, how to affect the area, confidential
So
zone plan?
the area designated for the medical clinic, remember, this is a quasi-private kind of a triple P or double P project of $20 million. The land that was selected didn't meet the zoning regulations, so we had to go to the amendment process. And it's a couple of steps, and it had to eventually get to the planner to be vetted through municipal affairs, all approved through municipal affairs, and it finally came back to us for the final closure of the motion.
This is basically the paperwork catching up to what's up there.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. So, there are no issues. There could have been issues. We worked through it with legal counsel and others, just to make sure that we were compliant with the right requirements of the government. And also, there were risks taken by those people who were doing the project as they went ahead of the game. And so the paperwork is following and catching up, as Councilor Vine said, which often if you waited all the time for paperwork, things don't get done.
Yeah.
Although that risk was borne by the proponent, not by the city.
Is there any idea of when that will be completed? Do you know?
The latest update we have is they anticipate construction of turnkey by May 1 from the builder's perspective. Then there may be a lag to have all of the other physicians and tertiary in supports of public health and everything moving in there. So we'll probably ask for an update the next time we meet with Terra Free, but the building is going to be completed and ready for turnkey on May 1, we've been told.
Oh, okay.
So it might take 90 days before actually
Yeah,
to the public.
yeah, that's going to be an exciting time.
It will be.
Yeah.
Okay, anything late for planning?
No, I don't, not that.
Did we-
Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye,
Hi.
Karen,
that's it.
okay, nothing late? Okay, we have no bylaws, regulations, and policies in front of us today. Any unfinished business?
I'd just like to throw a little bouquet to Ira and Matthew and them during the construction up on Russell Heights of their politeness and diligence to talking to all the citizens up there and doing their very best to solve any issues they have.
Thank you very much. Just also a shout out to management and our public works and our employees. Over the weekend, they did some significant work on well number 1, our highest producing well. It was a maintenance project. They worked through the weekend, completed it with full success. So we're in really, really good shape, but it just goes to show that our public works employees, they're not made of sugar plums. They go out in all kinds of weather, worse weather, in the nighttime. And it's tough conditions sometimes in the winter time, being out there in it's 20 or 30 with a wind chill, working on water and sewer lines. So, yeah, no, safety is always an issue. Sometimes they got to work in the dark, which is also a time when sometimes accidents can happen. So, but they're always there 24/7. And people don't realize what Public Works and our staff do, but for 24/7, they're ready to fix problems in this town. So big shout out.
And on top of what you're saying, just it's very important. We've had some water conservation notices go out to the town lately, and because of some of these issues where wells go down for maintenance, we don't want to run out of water. The impact on firefighting, the impact on businesses, et cetera. And as we get these improvements made, and a point of note, Mayor, is that that well number one that was down for maintenance was producing around 300 gallons per minute. It's now producing in excess of 600 gallons per minute. So it was like getting a free well for the maintenance work that was done and carried out very efficiently at lower cost than one would be able to do if you just gave it to a contractor to do. Our public works people did a phenomenal job on it, and we had some contractor support that helped make that happen. On the notices of water consumption to the community, we've had good cooperation from local businesses, some which had to shut down, like the local car wash, one of the car washes there on the end of Main Street. They cooperated and really should be congratulated for doing that. It impacted their revenue. And as far as I know, Ira notified them this morning that they can go back online. We have another very concerning issue for the community in that there were vandals opening up fire hydrants in the community. We have 2 instances of it. It has been reported to the RCMP, and totally unacceptable behavior by someone in the community opening up fire hydrants and leaving them open. So these 2 instances, 2 different days, one occurred yesterday, one occurred, I think it was Monday. And so extremely concerning. If anyone was caught, tampering with fire equipment, they would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, because it's anyone ever looked at a fire alarm in a building, if someone's caught doing that, the fines are very high, and people could really even be jailed for that kind of activity. So
it should be.
It's hard to believe that someone would go to that effort to do that and endanger people.
You know what, to open up a hydrant too, take a little bit of wrong, it would take a monkey wrench or a specialized heavy tool to do
Yeah, it's
that.
not a kid.
And it's not no youngster or young teenager. This is a calculated attack on the infrastructure of this town. Let's hope the RCMP, and they always get their person and a woman.
Yeah.
Let's hope they get them.
I mean, one big thing to take in consideration there, when you're dealing with the fire hydrant, you're dealing with a lot of pressure. So I mean, if you don't open it and close it properly, you could do damage. Matter of fact, you could injure yourself by blowing the hydrant apart and metal pieces come out of it. But you could also cause damage to our water system 4 or 5 streets over. So then we get another major problem on our hands. So you mean, fire hydrant is not something to be fooled with.
Good point.
And just a reminder, I guess, on that note, that as a community, we've got to work together and come together sometimes. And so if people see that stuff or know that stuff, make a phone call. You don't have to identify yourself, but you can certainly call and let the RCMP know that there's somebody at this moment, tampering with the hydrant. And I think we all got to take responsibility as citizens of the community to try to ensure that when we see things happening, we contact the appropriate people. And I know that's scary in today's world, but Crime Stoppers is anonymous, for example, so make the call.
Okay, I have a couple of quick things under new business. First of all, I'd like to commend once again our management team, some great work on capital works this year, as Councilor Maurice Hines said. And just for the numerics, for the people listening in, we have 15 attendees for our gallery. We did approximately $2 million this year on Russell Heights, paving Georgia, paving the section of Whites. But the funding that came for Georgia, roughly $400,000, and Queen Street comes from a special account provincially. So there's no taxpayers' money paid for that. That came from a community sustainability fund, formerly called a gas tax. But even on Russell Heights, we only paid 20%. So that was 1.2, roughly 2.5 million. And our contribution to get Russell Heights completed, that's full restoration of water, sewer, curb, gutter, and some auxiliary stuff that had to be done. We only had to put in $226,000. So we just had roughly $2 million worth of work done. But it really only cost the taxpayers little over $200,000. So just to give that point. And one other thing I just wanted to mention, it's kind of exciting for me, reading about it in all Newfoundland and Labrador, but not surprised. So World Energy has talked about, in addition to the hydrogen plant in Stephenville, other opportunities for attraction of industry. So in June, when myself and Bill Ramsey was at Energy NL, our CAO, on the presentation for World Energy, because remember, since the signing with the German Chancellor in Stephenville, there's so much global attention on Stephenville. We've had massive companies in Stephenville from the United Emirates. We've had them from the East and the Orient. A lot of attention, and the insatiable green energy from wind is so important to major multinationals today that what Mr. John Risley mentioned is there could be the potential of building another industry in Stephenville, which would be a data campus for artificial intelligence. Those companies, whether it's Microsoft, who need high data, they need energy that's green. So for example, Bill Gates is involved in carbon capture. These big companies are focused on doing the right thing for the planet to mitigate this planet. Remember, there's 8 billion people on the planet. It's heating up. And environmentalists will say, if we don't take care of the planet will take care of us. Stephenville, Newfoundland is a global asset with global attention. We have the best wind corridor in North America. We have massive infrastructure with ports and airports. We are in adjacency to Europe, to the St. Lawrence Seaway, to the Northeastern Seaboard, and the Northwest Passage. We have, the stars have aligned for Stephenville. So we hope additional industries, in addition to a hydrogen plant, will look at Stephenville for investment in capital because we got what it takes. I just wanted to say that.
Anything else?
I'm done.
I need to say a couple of things.
Okay.
Our West Coast Healthcare Action Committee that was formed in 2003 to try to save our surgical obstetrical services. We had 2 giant rallies, as you know, at the Dome, filled to capacity. And we saved our surgical services. So as chair of that committee, I'm stepping down as chair, and Michelle Waite Smith is the new chair of that committee. So to inform the general public, and I want people to spread the word on behalf of Michelle, because she's not here today, and she wouldn't be, we're on the council here, but I'm doing it as a public announcement for the public that there will be an open forum on the 28th of this month at 7 o'clock at the main building of the College of the North Atlantic, the lecture theater. And anybody that wants to come out and voice their concerns, that would be welcome. It's a committee. It's a meeting it's a forum that's going to be for presenting your concerns. It's not going to be a forum for people getting into like a rally type, out and get out of hand. It's going to be, that's going to be done that way. So that's on the go. And the other thing is, let me see, what was the other thing? As far as the healthcare goes, there is a lot of work to be done still, because there's a lot of issues going on with family doctors and trying to get a doctor. And we're doing very well. We do have more doctors in emergency now than we ever had. We've got 2 more that are coming, so that's good. And the Bay St. George Medical Clinic, who is working as a collaborative clinic for the last year or so or more, they've got all the stuff in place. And when the new clinic is open, probably will be getting more equipment. And all the people that are there now, well, actually, there's no room down there for any more doctors. even if we had the doctor or two that come tomorrow and want to go to clinic, they can't go to that clinic because it's really, there's no room down there.
For Laura,
But-
sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
2 new doctors, are they for emergency room or they?
Student doctors?
No, 2 new doctors.
Oh, yeah, they're for ER. Yeah,
They're
ER.
Just for the ER.
Emergency room, yeah,
And
yeah.
are some of the ER doctors now, which we've done well with, are they though practitioners who moved from their practice into ER?
No,
None of them?
let me see, which one would that have been? No, trying to think.
Okay, because.
No, you got,
Into ER.
we got one doctor that's been here totally in the ER for a long time. And then we had another one that was from here, but he did have a practice years ago, but he moved to ER, but he's not there anymore. He's still in town. He lives in town, but he's doing practice somewhere else.
Oh.
And who was the third one?
Laura, just for clarity now, just correct me if I got this right. So, good question there.
Yeah,
The healthcare demands are changing, as we will know. So one time, your GPs that were in the community, fee for service or salary, they all spent time covering the ER.
yeah,
But because the shortage of doctors and NPs and stuff like that, more people go to the ER now. Now the ER and going to the hospital is really for an emergency. It's not to go because you want to see a doctor.
no,
You know, that's what a family doctor's for. So what's happened now, because of work-life balance, a lot of GPs don't want to work. They want to work for a clinic all week long and be on
Yeah.
weekends. So now Western Health has hired dedicated GPs to work in the emergency department to take the pressure from a work-life balance off of your GPs in the community, whether you're salaried or fee
Yeah.
for service.
yeah,
So, and the other thing I just want to say, and I always tell people when I run into somebody say, I don't have a doctor. Well, I said, I think I know how to get you one real quick. So when my doctor left, I just went up to the basic Georgia Medical Clinic, pulled the little tab, went and sat in front of the receptionist and said, can you assign me a doctor? And I was assigned a nurse practitioner, and this is Nurse Practitioners Week.
yes, but
Were you in that clinic?
that's what were you in that clinic? Yeah,
I was in that.
I was already there.
yeah, well, that's
the thing,
That's the
yeah.
difference.
yeah, that wouldn't happen. Like I'm on the list, supposedly on the list. And I'm supposed to be urgent because of an autoimmune
Yes.
problem. And when I checked, the person that was there prior to that was doing all of that said they were only doing the people on the list from 2022.
Yeah.
So I know my brother and his wife were patients of, I'll say the name because he's gone anyway, Dr. Maxwell. And when he left, he had written urgent on their referral or whatever, and they got into a nurse practitioner where you got in. But if you're in that clinic, your chances of getting a doctor, yes, yet they have to assign you a doctor.
That's why I haven't got.
Yeah,
I was in that clinic. I haven't got a doctor since Dr. McComsky left.
Yeah,
And I'm on the way, registered with the Newfoundland.
yeah.
yeah, but
And I never heard of.
I
That's a year.
think there's a,
Same here, Darren.
there's,
Yeah.
Same here.
And you know,
I've been a lot longer than that, but I think there's a bigger issue that obviously has to be grappled with, and that is you put more doctors and hire them as ER doctors, right? But if you don't deal with family doctors, then all you're doing is more people are going to emerge to see these new doctors. So it's not
solving the problem. Yeah.
Is not emerge right now. It's ethical treatment.
And our-
Here to
but
sit and wait.
getting back to the emergency room, it's some of the doctors, like for example, one doctor that works down a medical clinic. He does work in the OR too. So they send other doctors to work in the OR. Now, ER, some of them don't want to. Like the mayor was saying a minute ago, doctors that are coming on stream now, they want to work a 9-to-5 job. They don't want to be working any after that. But the problem is Dr. Crowley told me before he left, and I don't mind saying his name either, because he said he comes here from April to October and he's a good surgeon and everybody loves him. And he said from April to June, he had diagnosed 7 people here with cancers. And he said he figures the reason why is because they didn't have a family doctor. And he said, you need some advocacy in the community to fight for your health care. Now, if you go to the nurse practitioners that are private and you go to she gives you or he gives you a requisition for blood work, you can't get your results unless you pay another $40. They won't give them to you.
For your yearly fee.
If you don't have the yearly fee of $300. So there's problems all around that area too. And the Premier did say he was working on it. But what I'm saying is here in Stephenville, we are lucky that we have the doctors that we do have, because compared to other communities, but that don't mean we can still use more doctors, right? And here's this clinic up there, Dr. Makomsky had, sitting there, not doing anything. So I would say if there's any young doctors out there that wants to start a business, come here in town and want to get that clinic going. That's because that's gone way down in price, the sale of it.
Yeah, one of the, I know at the urban municipalities meeting, we had a presentation by the central organization for family doctors. I forget what they were called. And I think there is a Western equivalent, but we haven't really heard much. But one of the issues that they talked about in terms of family doctors coming to communities was about the expense of setting up practice, especially if you're new and young and have a student loan or loans to pay off or whatever. But and so what they've worked with communities, obviously. What they said to us was, if you want to really provide bonuses and benefits and all that, provide it in the form of a clerical person or something who works in the clinic, or pay our light bills or pay the heat bills or offer the service, because it's all that overhead that prevents people from setting up clinics. And so a lot of doctors don't want to go in practice for themselves if it means they got to take on that extra. So there are other things we could,
But I mean, Councillor Deputy Mayor Fowler, also the fact that, but if they had a team, it would be different.
Yeah.
They could all chip in. Now, did you see the clip on the news where this doctor in Deer Lake has given up her family practice because she's too overwhelmed?
Wow.
Cornerbrook, is it? That was there the other day. So there's a lot of people there losing their family doctors. Been there for a good while.
I think medical clinic will actually help retain and attract
certainly try
and
to
give more functionality to the physicians that are and overall good to the residents. So that should benefit our healthcare, but we still have to keep the pedal to the metal on being the advocacy to have better services. And like one of the things on the table that we've talked to Western Health and to all the key people that make managerial decisions is that we were designed for obstetrics. This will be an area that would have the highest ratio of births over the next 5 to 10 years in the region because of young families moving in. So it's time now to start the planning, start the attraction, start the budgeting, and start tooling up so we can get obstetrics back in Stephenville.
Because the money's still there
It is, yeah.
in government, still there.
Yeah. So is there anything else before I call for adjournment? No, so moved by my good buddy, Councillor Tom O'Brien. Backs me up to adjourn these meetings. That'd be second by Councillor Laura Aylward. All in favor? Very little.
Tom, you weren't here when we went on.